Good evening and welcome to PMR Africa's podcast, PMR Global, where we celebrate excellence and acknowledge teams across various industry sectors. We began this initiative as an extension of our various platforms, and tonight we are honored to have Professor Pfano Mashau. Professor Mashau is the director of the Durban University of Technology, DUT, as our guest tonight. Welcome, Professor, and thank you for joining us on this podcast episode. We appreciate your time and your willingness to participate tonight, and welcome.
Thank you so much. It's an honor for me to be here. I'm happy to contribute.
Thank you, Prof. So let's start. As you are aware of, as you know, humans think in stories rather than just in facts. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, where you grew up.
I need to first also greet your audience, and I think this is a very great initiative, and I'm, like I said earlier, I'm honored to be here. I am, as you introduced me, Pfano Mashau, and I was born in the Northern Province, which is now called the Limpopo Province. And that's where I did my primary schooling and high schooling, and got to the university where I did study economics and later management sciences, and went on to study local economic development to a PhD. And I started being fascinated about research, I think at a very early age. So I would like to say I've always been interested in research, which is which explains why I entered academia. So I think I got into academia because of my love of research. I even when I was working for DUT Education Services prior joining the university, my work had to do more with higher education, where we were involved in the management of TVET colleges, trying to look at how their systems are designed and how to prepare them for how organizations should be run in the modern age. So there was a lot of research that took place even there, which is why I ended up coming back to academia. So that's what sparked my interest to come into academia. More than that, I think one thing that drove me even from when I was young is that I got this interest of thinking that I might have solutions to the problems that we are experiencing as a country. And I think that over time, I always thought maybe I just do not have the platform to communicate the possible solutions. And that's what made me want to come to institutions where people do research and communicate it to the world. And to cut the long story short, that's how I entered
No,
into
excellent,
academia.
great. No, very interesting. Um, and if we move over now to DUT, can you tell us a little bit about DUT story, where the status, where you are at this stage of the business school?
Yes, I think the DUT story is a very interesting one. It has history that is very rich and one that is interesting in such that you would remember that DUT is a merger between technicons that came together to form what we know today as DUT. That is like exactly 21 years ago. There was a merger of the two technicons in KZN that formed the DUT that we know today. I think in my observation, ever since the merger, the leadership of the institution has always been taking it to the right direction, to an extent that they pride themselves by as a leading University of Technology in South Africa in terms of rankings. And to an extent where even today, when we talk about university rankings, you cannot complete the list without mentioning the Durban University of Technology. And that's
Right, yeah,
one thing that needs to be considered, that it is a University of Technology and it has got to a stage where it ranks itself amongst the University of KwaZulu-Natal, Stellenbosch University, University of Cape Town, and
correct.
all of those top ranking university. I think that's one thing that is amazing about the DUT story. In fact, one has to mention that there was a time that during the COVID times, I cannot just remember exactly what year, that they ranked amongst the top 5 universities in South Africa.
Yeah, yeah,
So we're talking about an institution that has a very interesting story in terms of even quality of the work that they produce. So amongst that story, we're talking about the institution that today has more than 33,000 students in it within two campuses that are in Durban and Pietermaritzburg. And I think that's strategic in a way, because you're talking about an institution that is in the capital city and also right in the middle of the CBD. I want to say exactly in the CBD, because when you talk about DUT, it's an institution that when you're entering Durban, on your left, you'll be seeing it.
okay,
I think it's strategically positioned. And if you look at its position, we're talking about an institution that is positioned in a walking distance to Africa's biggest harbor, container
yeah, yeah,
terminal.
yeah,
The best, one of the interesting activities that take place in KZN is tourism. Again, it's located in a walking distance towards one of South Africa's favorite destination,
yeah.
which is the
So that
Durban beachfront.
that also adds to DUT's uniqueness. What you're saying now.
Lovely, yes.
Yeah. And if we look at the DUT brand, what does it represent?
What makes DUT brand different is, I think, mostly embedded in our strategy. Our strategy is titled In Vision 2030. It's that strategy explain the institution that we want to be in 2030, and the path that we need to take towards what we want to be in 2030. So we pride ourselves of being an institution that is going to produce adaptive students. These are students that will drive social change. These are students that do not wait for employment, that take initiatives to belong and to make the best of the situations around them. We don't want to say we are producing only employable graduates, but we want to say we are creating graduates that will also take initiative to be employers. So I think that's embedded in our DNA through our strategy, which is in Vision 2030, that just simply explains that we are going to be an institution that is people-centered, an institution that makes us relevant at all times when we of our existence until that time when we realize all our goals.
Yeah, excellent. And what would you say, how will you, at this stage, how do you measure achievement by the students as well as by your staff members? How do you measure their achievements?
Yeah, so I think what is more important in that is, like I mentioned, that our output is adaptive graduates. So when you
Yeah,
want to produce such a graduate, you must have engaged academics. This simply means that the people that are in the institutions are not just going to classroom and issue assignments and mark the assessment and give marks. We want academics that go out there and interact with the world. We want academics that understand what is happening in the industry. We want academics that are in the forefront of research, who are researching relevant and timely topics, and bring that into the classrooms, because that's how knowledge is generated. You generate knowledge by first thing could be traveling. Generate knowledge by going there and study how other people are addressing their problems and how you can do it in a different
yeah,
way.
sure.
And in fact, that's being innovative. So I think innovation is in the center of of our metrics of measuring success. So I think this can be seen in terms of the academics we produce and also the graduates that we produce at the end.
Yeah, excellent. And on the next question, I think you've already touched on it. You mentioned engage academics and graduates to be adaptive. Um, how would you say, how will you create, or how do you create trust in the abilities of DUT? What would you like to communicate to existing and potential students, as well as your role players and your stakeholders?
The trust in the DUT and what can be communicated to our stakeholder is we are not an institution that pretends like we know everything. We are an institution that understand that we are living in the world that is forever changing. And what makes us distinctive is us being open to learning and being open to say we don't understand what tomorrow will be like, but we want to uh, get into this journey together with our partners, with industry, with our students, and learn together. So we are an institution that is open to learning. And that's why even if you look at the short learning programs that we offer in the business school, they are mainly centered around responding to the changes that are not expected, because that's what today's world is all about. You
Yeah,
might be sitting here today and you will never know what Donald Trump will announce tomorrow. But then the question
exactly.
is,
Yeah,
how do you adjust as a business person and make your business ready for whatsoever the change that the world will bring? So we have those type of theoretical knowledge that needs to be coupled by experiences that our partners, the businesses out there are going through, so that we can come up with the best solutions to navigate the ever-changing environment.
yeah, excellent. You've just touched on that now. Can you tell us a little bit more about DUT's offerings, your programs, and your degrees?
Yes. Um, the DUT has a number of programs, but now for the purpose of this interview, I'll focus on the DUT Business School. which is the unit within the DUT that I manage. At the business school, we offer business education, and our flagship program is the Master of Business Administration. Our Masters of Business Administration is a program that is designed for working professionals, designed for business people who want to advance themselves locally and internationally. It's also designed for managers that are in different positions that wants to advance the organizations that they work for. So it's a very interesting programs that it also has sector focus, and such that we pride ourselves of having modules that are designed to advance people who are in the healthcare sector, people who want to get into sports management, people who want to get into higher education management and general business management. All this is a part of our MBA program that we call our flagship program. But in addition to that, we have postgraduate diploma in business management, which is like a prerequisite to the MBA for those people who have not studied business management prior. We also have advanced certificates and higher certificates in business administration as well. But in addition to these programs, something that is very popular in people in business and also people in management is short learning programs. We also have a number of short learning programs that we offer and also customize for different organizations so that they are talk specifically to the challenge that an institution is facing. So the list of the short learning programs that we have can take us the entire 2 hours to explain. But one thing that I want to mention for the people that will watch this video is we are a growing institution. We are a growing business school, and we are going to be very competitive at all levels. And in the next year, we are going to be offering a very unique doctoral program, which is Doctor of Business Administration. This is a program that you wouldn't just focus on research, but you will have 4 modules that you will need to complete. These 4 modules are dedicated, are more specific to the challenges that businesses, managers, and professionals are facing in the current business environment. So we designed this module so that we first prepare you to understand the current challenges and the available solutions, so that you can now craft a dissertation or a research project that specifically talks to the core issue that your institution is faced with or your business is faced with. And by the time you graduate, you have gone through a process of finding a solution to the problem that your organization is faced with. So I'm looking forward to the first people to enroll in this program, because I think they will be a game changer, and they will stand for what Envision 2030 is, what we mean by an adaptive graduate.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, we're talking now about the business world. What would you say, what is DUT and the business school specifically view on ethics in the business world and the workplace? And I suppose that will also have a big, plays a big part in your offerings in specific modules.
Yes. I think that's a very important question, in such that you can talk about business and then you don't talk about ethics. I think it's an important fabric of how an institution should be run. We ought to all be ethical. We ought to know what is right from wrong. You can make this as simple as possible. Like when we are operating in the environment that we are in, we need to know that we are leaving footprint. To give one as an example, we are in a way damaging this environment, then how do you give back to it so that the people who we leave behind also are left with a planet that is not rejecting them? So just to mention one of the programs that we have to make that researchers and institutions remain ethical in every activity that they do. Every year we host, well, from this year going forward, every year we'll be hosting a climate change conference, which just brings together knowledge to the managers to learn how to manage this economy, to learn how to do the right things so that we leave the better world for the people that will come after us. So businesses are also in the forefront of degrading the planet that we are in. So businesses should
Sure.
also be in the forefront of correcting the wrongs that have been done previously. So I think that's also very important when you talk about ethics, that as an institution, this is the way we go back and say we want to contribute to everyone being ethical, and ethical in a core sense of saying it's about doing the right things every time and protecting the environment that we are in. So this is just one activity that we have here at the business school that promote general ethics behavior throughout the different organizations that we interact with.
Yeah, and that also, you mentioning the footprint, but that's also then part of good sustainable development practices, you are talking about now.
Yeah.
If we're looking at DUT, the business school's role in South Africa, how can DUT contribute to and enhance and develop South Africa's corporate competitiveness globally? At the end of the day, we're part of a world out there. So, what do you envisage in this way?
Yeah. So one thing that the one way we contribute to the South African competitiveness, we do it in two folds. First, as an institution. Secondly, by the students that we graduate. As an institution, we are a globalized institution. Our curricula are not just taught by South Africans. We also bring expertise from all over the world, people who have gone through different challenges, business in terms of business operations. It could be your lecturers, it could be different researchers that we have in the institutions. All these people people are creating knowledge within the institution and sharing it back into the classrooms. For instance, if you go to our classroom or come to the DUT, you will hear the words COIL program much more often than in an ordinary institution. COIL program are collaborative online learning, which just simply means that our students, when they're doing assessments, they do such with people outside South Africa. They interact and get into group assignments to do group assignment with someone who could be in Europe, depending on where that module is linked. So our classroom already is globalized. Our research is also in partnership with different international institutions. And I think that is very important in terms of our global competitiveness. And in that, it means that we have that classroom that educate a business person, a professional, to learn that as they go out into their organization, they should not only focus on being successful locally only. They are in a globalized environment, and they should know that they compete globally, and it is has become that easy for us to have business activities outside South African borders. So we have students that are so bold that graduate bold enough to know that business activities can be taken outside the South African borders, and their business should transcend globally.
Excellent. And what do you say? what would you say? What is DUT doing to improve the quality of life of communities in South Africa, specifically KwaZulu-Natal, in terms of poverty alleviation, fighting HIV and AIDS, and other socioeconomic issues?
Yeah. Please, in terms of improving the quality of life, I will also focus on what we are doing as a department. Because if I have to talk about the DOT as a whole, I might not know exactly what projects we have in terms of HIV and AIDS awareness, but I know that we have a health science faculty that focuses on that. In the Faculty of Management Science, we also pride ourselves not only for saying we are producing people who go out there and be employers, or people who out there and become leaders of social change, but also in our operations, we do have activities that are geared towards promoting social good. I remember just a few minutes ago, I was talking about the climate change conference that we organized. If you just take that as an example also, in just one event that took one week, we were able to bring together the municipality, we were able to bring together high schools, we were able to bring together our international partners and government officials in one room to discuss how we can respond to the climate change, which is very apparent in Durban. In Durban,
Especially there,
yeah, exactly. There's snow in September. There is tornadoes. What is next? The ocean might have a very big wave that will come to our houses, but we need to be prepared for all these changes. So we want to also play a front role in terms of that, and also to call businesses to take action. So what we did on that conference is that we bring all the stakeholders. We first had theoretical presentations. Thereafter, we took a tour to all these areas that were hit by climate change so that it becomes a reality, so that everyone can connect and see how an average human being who can potentially be a customer to your business is experiencing. And then we come back and divest different solutions on how we can resolve those type of issues. So this was very interesting because it's not only informing the businesses in terms of what they need to be doing to support their customers and how to make them live longer and how to survive climate change adverse effects, but also it channels the researchers to conduct research studies that matters and that are impactful. So it means that instead of having a person just researching about job satisfaction and whatsoever HR matters that they can do, business management studies that is already over-researched. Now we're talking about researchers that are researching about climate change and how a business can support the call of reducing our footprint in this planet.
Yeah. So you're making sure that the students will one day have the ability to deal with the unexpected.
Exactly.
Prof, what is your vision for the business school?
That's a simple one. This one, the first vision is to see us having all the programs that the business school is supposed to be offering. The second vision is to see us ranking amongst the best business school in South Africa. We have all the capabilities to do so. And the location that we are at now, it's very supporting in terms of that because we are right in the gateway of Africa. So we are the best situated to also be teaching Africa on how to realize its full potential. More than that is to see the DUT Business School having accreditations. I know that in the coming years, we'll be preparing to put in our application for AMBA accreditation or AEMBA accreditation. And the groundwork is done. And I believe that we will get there. That I can say would be a greatest achievement for us in the next 5 years, because when it comes to program quality, we are improving every day. We have the best advisory board. I think we are well set up as a better competitor in this landscape of business schools.
Excellent. Yeah, and that will also be a great legacy.
It will indeed.
Prof, any other points that you would like to highlight?
Well, I think I highlighted a number of things that can be considered, but I just want to say that DUT, well, when you look at it in its entirety, it's not just a place of learning. It's a place where we bring different curious people to be catalyst of a change. And then this is talking about our students, we're talking about our partners, talking about our staff who come here to collaborate so that at the end we bring out innovative solutions to the problems that we face. And one have to look at this from the lens of our strategy. Our strategy compels all of us who work in the institution to always remember that we are a people-centered institution. As much as we want to lead in terms of technological change, whatever we do has to be impactful. So you would see this in a lot of things that our leadership talks to, the projects that we run, the events that we organize for our students and our immediate community. They are geared towards creating change agents. So that's what we are all about as DUT. So I think it is very important that we call on South Africans, we call on the world to come and join us, not necessarily because we have the solutions to everything, but so that we can find solution to all our problems together. To get to the solutions, we need to first collaborate, understand what we're going through, and then walk the path together towards a better South Africa. So that's what DUT is all about, and that's what our strategy is positioning us towards. So I think that's the few things that I can add over and above everything that we talked about in this interview.
Yeah. Professor, thank you very much. Thank you for your message and thank you for your time and trouble tonight. On that note, we conclude. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And we're wishing you well on the great work that you and your team is doing there at the DUT Business School. Thank you and good evening. This brings us to the end of our episode tonight. Thank you again, Professor Pfano Mashau, Director of the Durban University of Technology, for participating in our episode. We congratulate the DUT team for outstanding work and service. And when people are recognized, they feel connected and counted, and they become passionate about their work, their life, and their purpose. And our mission, PMR Africa's mission, remains to recognize excellence across Africa, honor high-performing teams, and establish benchmarks for organizational performance. On this week, on Thursday, 6 November, PMR Africa is hosting a business leaders function in Gaborone in Botswana, and we're looking forward to celebrate excellence in Botswana and to acknowledge teams across various industry sectors in the country. Thank you and good night.